It is my honor to declare the 24-hour economy agenda.
His Excellency John Mahama. 24-hour economy our share bono or the aba or the asempa nabo. Asempa no abo. 24-hour economy.
Yen samoy fo nyina kwaba ebiem emra jumadi so after say His Excellency John Mahama finally on launch 24-hour economy no enkomo bebre efi oman Ghana mu eba enije nso ateche na ene na ekoso quick one ya Francia ya ba be dimu nkomo na afi no info bi bia no ye de abaweni semfufo bi ne aboabo no a ye ba be dimu nkomo baransa na no yenko na yenko tie nsem ni bi 24-hour economy no sen ena ye ba be ye no abusua ayenije sem.
The 24-hour plus program will be the catalyst for Ghana's economic growth, and we are sure that it will make Ghana prosper. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a call to national action. Distinguished guests, a new model of economic development grounded in productivity, powered by the private sector and coordinated by the state is going to be unveiled. Our national strategy includes inclusive growth, export expansion, job creation, and structural transformation. We are under no illusions. The path is going to be challenging, but we will succeed. The path will be challenging, but we will succeed. And we will succeed with discipline, coordination, and shared purpose. The 24-hour plus agenda allows us to do things in a different way, and to do them better, and to do them together. We call on the private sector, labor unions, development partners, traditional authorities, youth, and civil society to embrace this initiative. Ghana belongs to all of us. The work of transformation must be the task of all of us. And so today, as a symbol of our collective commitment, I will unveil the official logo of the 24-hour plus program. And this is going to be a bold visual expression of our ambition to build a resilient, self-reliant, and a productive Ghana. And so, with this unveiling, it is my honor and privilege to declare the 24-hour economy agenda and accelerated export development program officially launched. The finance and implementation institutional frameworks for 24-hour plus. The private sector will lead the 24-hour plus program. Government will facilitate and not dominate. Government will facilitate and not dominate. Any government funding in 24-hour plus will be catalytic, serving as seed funding for the 24-hour plus authority and supporting bulk infrastructure. Enterprise financing will be sourced through commercial banks, DFIs, and blended finance instruments. Fund 24 will address access to capital, collateral constraints, and the short-term nature of most of our banking finance. Credit guarantee schemes will support risk sharing without breaching our fiscal covenants with our multilateral institutions. And as announced, the Secretariat will evolve into an autonomous 24-hour plus authority that reports directly to the President. This policy is made for Ghana in the future. And so when I say report directly to the President, I don't mean only this President. It will report to the next President and the next President and the next President. The vision behind the 24-hour economy and the accelerated export development program was born from reflection during and after my previous term in office. Between 2016 and 2020, it became increasingly clear that Ghana, like many African countries, is trapped in a model of an equal exchange. We export raw materials and we import refined finished products. We ship cocoa, gold, timber, and oil abroad, only to repurchase them as chocolates, jewelry, furniture, and fuel at a far greater cost. This model does not serve our people. It has never served our people. It generates foreign jobs, it fuels foreign economies, and funds foreign healthcare and education systems. While our youth remain unemployed, our industries stagnate, and our imports balloon. We had laid the essential foundation then for energy infrastructure, for roads, for ICT systems, and human capital investment. But we knew that we needed to go further. And that meant we needed an integrated, bold, and coherent approach that dismantled the silos of past policies. The 24-hour plus program is that collective answer. And so we've moved from slogan to strategy today. In 2020 and again in 2024, thank you. In 2020 and again in 2024, the idea of a 24-hour economy captured national attention. It became a slogan of hope, a symbol that change was necessary and that it was possible. Our task now is to move from vision to implementation, from aspiration to action. This launch is not the end, but it is the beginning of a massive national mobilization. That is our flagship anchor. While the 24-hour plus program is national in scope, our flagship intervention is the Volta Economic Corridor, a transformational effort to unlock the economic and environmental potential of the Volta Lake and its surrounding lands. Ladies and gentlemen, our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, envisioned the Volta project at Akosombo not only as a source of power to power Ghana's industrial sector. He also saw it as an integrated project that will provide agribusiness, it will provide lands for agriculture, irrigation. Unfortunately, that aspect of his vision have been lost. Today, we're recreating Kwame Nkrumah's dream. Today, Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's dream comes alive again. We will irrigate over 2 million hectares of land for intensive agriculture under Grow 24. We will establish agro-industrial parks for textiles, pharmaceuticals, and food processing under Make 24. We will develop tourism clusters along the lake under Show 24. We will turn the lake into a central transport corridor that connects the north to the south and the east to the west under Connect 24.
His Excellency John Mahama,
of course,
24-hour economy, finally, and say Baba started, but then and common kwa bebre, but answer na uberumu
okay.
Baby many die, baby amampani ka say obe involve private sectors, no,
of course.
Na oma ye juma. Ni jisempa, yenwemwe.
Ewaja, mamena wasi, na menchaje fa na fi. Ye shase na ye ni ho nkomo. Right, ma menshase obabi a wodi ma shase na na emfa mfiri ho. Right, enokre mampani se private sector no mainly omo na 24-hour economy no ebe gina wo mo so. Na ye ne mampani ya adwen se opesa ade na successful e ho ene wo si free. Because at the end of the day, ye baba ye mid-year budget. Ye ntumi enfa sika dodo a 24-hour economy ni hia no. Enko hye ye budget num enya sa sika no free a tax paying money ni mu. At the end of the day, private investors na omo sika no e na aban no mo be collaborate na aban atrom say plan ni na omo do omo sika akoya ade no na adwuma ani sika aba na at the end of the day government I enjoy as part of this mampani launch program ni wie ya de ma me hu say privatization na mampani ka no enya agro no or launch program ni wie ya no for the first time in 30 years, na India Prime Minister were inviting a Oba.
Oh yeah.
The India Prime Minister, so you know him say India about privatization, a human being, any investment. Only one of the best we are.
Oh, Nasa, me we no one night to blocks no.
Yeah.
But bring India for na BSA companies no. And even one way to you
so no.
But bring India for gas.
Inti ade ba India is very common. Pharmaceuticals issues.
Oh yeah.
Right, man, peninsun common no. 24 common pharmaceuticals no ehemu bi. Pharmacy sem wom inti India Prime Minister eba right after the program launch no. Yeah, India for bebre ekohia no. Indian investors organ nyina ekohia no. Na edi adance say ampa mampani is paving way say private investors edom ho behim. Na enye even local investors nkwari. Ye gitum say e was local investors enya upper hand. But yen tell sense say foreign investors sika wo omo sika bebre no so omo so do omo sika ni besema it will boost economy no na enema nyina akoyie right private sectors no minimum penny ya adwo
ana we say no o say ye no say government appointees omo an hold dia eduba bia ho na corruption cost no but the private sectors no omo fa no so omo adwuma
of course
omo be ni
of course right the man penny ken assuming say private sector ono di sika ba beshim we bie companies mampani asase nkomo wom wa koje asase ni bi afiri aban ho wa sha say ye farming obe export enuane ne mani bi di akọ rata e ya aban na supervise ono na odi ni sika ahyem no so no on hwese workers no ebede suban bi adia at the end of the day obeboka into one so ono so be very keen ono so de na hoodin eni na ni nyina be call supervision no ebe in a proper way into one so at the end of the day rata ye benya niema no you will be exporting it. You be exporting say the mampani kano. Na abayin so edge taxes from side private sectors no. Na adwuma was abayin bie. Ema individual Ghanaians abayin timi mie no. Ankran dom sika bie. Afa Ghanaian youth no. Nti obi amo abayin ti so say ye padwuma ye biem. Oma ye adwuma na wi anema aba no. Aduane ni enuro ni nema no wo man nti ne bo ba ye full. Standard of living no. E be very okay. Cost of living beba from. Ye hia Right to be a case importation and exportation. Your person exportation does change importation. Said you buy economically. You buy sika be brede from on an diaba. Rather than say, yeah, mum, yeah, this sika air for craniama be braba. The writer so much producing yama be bre. Yeah, man, penny air can also export here. Export at the end of the day. More investors benya musika. Sir, I buy benya the sika. Man, penny casano. Adiaba kwa arrow when he say. Oh my Ghana ebia ye be don toast na brofuna ba be fan toast no makwa omode akwa kwahye roba mu no mo san dia bre ye biem omode abre ye biem omode banso ani bo de denden semne nyina dia na ne ye dia wa kokoi hwe kokoi right asem nya nti kokoi aban ni sika ode ba be na ni kokoi no so fine accepted nti aban should also put measures in place eno na man komo we ye me deno aban ni sika kokoi no otowia ode be san ho adwam kokoi oto ne mpo no we agree say toda ye koje busan na di beto kokoi no enti aban any private sector kasa ye kokoi ne pese ubie factory kese na kokoi no mom oyam kokoi no so dane ani na fe ewia enye raw material biem na yemfa kokoi na ya refine package ne kama no yemfa nkwa man hodo so nkoton your other countries here abrofunu to kokoi ne no be kwa adwuma omokokoto final product ni bi say chocolate ni ko omukrum say ye adwua na ye chocolate no any powdered cocoa no ha omo nyina baba befa wa ha de akọ at the end of the day exportation e be very huge private person na ono wa bie factory na cocoa na aban de bi ma na oye ne saa no obenya ne sika workers na obenya omusika aban benya sika there are a whole lot of issues aside that there are washa mampani dim komo no se meti every baby ayi we privatization e dey see in terms of right transportation na right ho enam komo no dodo na so na matanshi wo because ye bia nyuma ye produce niema a create jobs awie no kwan be bɛn na nneɛma no yɛbɛfa so yɛbɛ transport nneɛma no akɔneaba die no ɛdɔɔso dodo director sɛ wahwɛ a yɛn road a yɛnam so da biara no yɛne timber cars na ɛnam so yɛn kwan yɛnam so da biara no a whole lot of nneɛma a ɛwɔ sɛ deliver na yɛne wɔn na ɛnam so and it is not helping aha ɛna mehu sɛ mampani director okra ni nyame anim nie said ya big ne abusuapani kan no afi ne nya president in the 24-hour economy plan no ways of transportation one main way the Volta river but ensuo ni nyame dia mai eda ho forever ensuo enya asphalt maka say ebetutu entutu enti ensuo na eda ho no the best way is say from northern part of Ghana to southern part of Ghana the ensuo be means of transportation and asase na eda ensuo no ho no yensisi dan wo ho ye nyira nim sa abrofo no ho no omo di ensuo no ho no eye adwuma bebre enti in this case the right man penny say yemfa ensuo no means of transportation aside that right you betima even railway line across ensuo no ho no na investors omo sika omo hu se eni ampa aha eye ekwan a amanfo fa sokọ enti wuduru ba bia aha ye betimi aye bus stop bi wa ha yenye hotel bi wo ho yenye restaurant nkofo duru ha omo nyina nidi the right recreation tourism nti at the end of the day we won't say along the line ensuo ba ko pe no the transportation the why recreational fields but ensuo na agriculture na ye nyina ka say mampani say ana say obi a wodi nkomo bi ase agriculture no say developing country no but ensuo na mampani say omo make sure say 2 million hectares of lands across ensuo no but omo dredge ensuo ne de akokɔ ni nyina to make sure say ye de be agriculture na the writer ye nyina ye kasa yi de bia de ye nyina ya no say ye tumi promote agriculture yi a oman ni be yi say ye tumi ambezi on agriculture na ya amfa nya adwuma it will not work the writer na say afuo no ye nyina nim say etwada bia ensuo ne climate change etimi sesa ne ma bebre the writer say ensuo no ewo ho na we can make good use of it na mampani e de ne ho hyem but ye nshada need the actual money na ye will seed fund na ye de be kwa akosha ade nim na at the end of the day private investors omo sika na omo betumi invest in agriculture omo kwa invest na ye fa a lot of Ghanaian youth into that na aduane aba bibu so a lot of agriculture exploitation
mampani kasa no niama bebre na ewu mu
of course
sa idea we no 2016 and I say onya sa idea no na nkeja ne no so na dan kwakufu adobae no wa ma meto aso nti e wo se ye sanya sa plan no mampani di ni nyina ho nkomo
right on say
e wo se obi obabi oba beto aso
right asem ni nyina no na ge ma asem na arho no se mampani say sa plan no across Volta river na ye di ho nkomo no sa de o ye planner Kwame Nkrumah e plan to what at the time all ya Kosombo dam and no plan say di we nyina be hemu
engineer say Kwame Nkrumah adwuma no e na John Mahama pese o to aso
enti se ke yo man a ye nhihye to ho ne edi so a anka ade a from 1950s ho no moba e na start ye enti kwata akra no ade a ene ye pese ye no 2025 bi no anka in 90s say ye che kra ye di 30 years wo ho kra anka in the 1990s anka yes ade we wie but wuti di say anka 24-hour economy e share from 1990 and aba bedru na anka Ghana jina bebi ejina nti I agree with the president a very good policy yeah long term plan na yem fan to ho it's a long term plan that was say ne pesa yekọ in the next 10 years ye ko say ye dru ho wi a the next target e ye we ne pesa yekọ so right at the end of the day man pani bi ba on to me change no na yem fan share constitution him say this is things ayeye it should be any part of the constitution and go ba say you say aban bi e ba on the policies right you may have your policies but these are certain things it should be the national policy here was a double for years and to me
24 economy so the adwuma e ba omanim rante ne maba ba benya adwuma ye obi nkonko tua 1.5 billion mpevisa say me kwabruchi what you say
right asem ni nya no
say we say no mampani nyene say instead of say 1.5 billion na obetua say we kwabruchi no say 24 economy na mampa bia bi ketua bi kra na ya pa adwuma ketua bi ama de 1.5 billion akwa koshem
of course the right say a very simple
and say bia say 1.5 billion me say me de be kwa bruchi me 1.5 billion metimi de akwa kura bi ase akwa akotɔ asase ado aburo bebre at the end no metwa aburo na 24-hour economy no bɛboa me na mato aburo no na manya sika ne baka saa sika no me de bɛkɔ abrochi
right on fa nkɔ abrochi because the see akra no they ama ade no interest abam bebre ne sɛ ye nyina enim sɛ akuafo problem ba ko ye toda ensu a omo benya de agu omo no baye so especially omo egro fruits and vegetables right enti sɛ aban ne se miami de ma hoɔden ɛboa nsuo ɛda hɔ enti ye twetwa kwan na ya twetwe nsuo no de akɔ nsase ne nyina so na amanfo anya ɛde yom kɛ na me 1.5 billion me 150,000 Ghana cedis but me assured say aha na me kwa akɔgye no nsuo anwi wɔ hɔ because aban no atwa nsuo de abrɛ me right me invest here at the end of the year and I say even after 6 months me kwa kodua vegetables 3 months 6 months aba eba me 1.5 no na get more than that in a space of 1 year 2 years but I'm a chemical and me a business owner and I'm really comfortable in my zone
you to kra no se ye adwuma e bia 24-hour economy businessman bi e bia India ni bi anase even Ghana ni businessman for no edom ho ahyem na e bia adwuma no kakraka na afa mrante be 500 omo ye adwuma wo ho na at the end bosome ye ma obia 3,000 Ghana e common ne sadi pana
on be adwuma
krono no so bete
rata me kra de mesre ne say anka aban ne fa ade wenchim
ade be ya
rata un say de in security service no mo ko train no kogye ntete no rata aban ne fa we se means bi na yempe Ghanaians dudu bi say this number of Ghanaian youth 24-hour economy no privatization no e ba be chance nti enya private investors ya omuni abana betena se akasa we se me be invest in agriculture we se me be invest in pharmaceuticals we se me be invest in logistics se enya omu nyina wie ne hu se they can employ a beer 2 million Ghanaians ya na buy na pay 2 million Ghanaian youth na buy no mo ma fa short ntitiem na buy na register wo mo into at the end of the day say there be ade ne be dempo ne say right private companies in for adwuma but they will be dealing with the government nti ni pa ne nim say aban fa adwuma aban na de ma kwa hye ho nti bosome so a private company no ontimi ntwe kese ni ni o twa sika na fa aban ho na aban so atwa de ama wo kese no right we can do these things to make sure say companies no be feel comfortable say adwumayefo no enti me show lazy attitude because aban na afa wo e no do amame
one thing so ne say me say aban say prisoners no omo doson omo guo kwa
yes of course
atiase enti prisoners no so no onfa kwan bia so a 24-hour economy ne be kan wo mo
semni nyina
because anytime ye betimi de o makwafu makwa ye adwuma se ye tutuma ye se o kwa ye adwuma ma aban
of course
atiase the prisoners no mo de da fia so kwa no e bia suasua ade pam ne sa ne ma no
of course
o mo nyina betimi de o ma ye 24-hour
economy prisoners ni bi graduate ye true amanfo mo say we ye prisoner person we ye university course right o mo ye ma this year amanfo ni bi graduate as prisoners of university they said you okay aban can put safety measures in place say prisoners no ye sorry bia ye move o for koye adwuma ye wo mo betima ye adwuma warehouse o mo betima ye adwuma wafu because mampani e ka no right enya even phone pharmacies nko na nkomo no wo right nkomo no e kate across o mo be ye pottery to say o mo ye right anya poultry farm for no omo so be ka agriculture for no omo ye te say pot omo ye niema te say nchense a edidi any sa niema right they will be all be inclusive enti say ye ko that's a textiles for nyina ebam omo ye materials ahodo a ye de pam eniema but a garment for so nyina ye involve right no kore nyame anim ni prisoners can take advantage and I said the man penika say opese youth no esua adwuma wo se mampeni na implement sa policy ni se every youth bia no ye pese ye boa aban ne boa na usua adwuma na aban ne boa ma usua no se usua hwia right here for na de koye adwuma the government can put safety measures in place to make sure say ye boa mo esua adwuma hwie na omo kwa koye adwuma private investors ne be fa wo na private investors ne so ye ma condition of service no enye very smooth e ma wo say there be a be investing Ghana yeni sika bebre sa ye were private investors o mo sika but amanone for him bebre e wo sika o mo de ba sponsor better yen hwe how a ebesi akọ
yen fancy but then ye kono yen nyam sa kwa yen ko na yentie NDC wo mo deputy general secretary Mustafa Gwandi ensam ne nkomo a wadi afa 24-hour economy no ho wakyerensem mu papa nti quick one yenko na yentie ne nsem no.
His Excellency Reverend John Dramani Mahama 24-hour economy a wo share bono o de aba na enura mete sem bo nwum no kra o de asempa na bo asempa no abo 24-hour economy signa ehun komote
adepa pa ne adwempa eta mampani na botae a owoma woman a one NDC party etranse hu se yekura ya titire no obi ohokra ube sori na paso wo kwa adwuma adwuma 8 hours traffic na ade babia ni party ubaka so bedu adwuma kra na sese 3 hours na eko ni wa adwuma mo hono demand e wo hono productivity no e low uko hospital ayare for da ho because emra ye high obi a emra da ensesa da ho no se 8 hours na obey adwuma 8 hours na ayare for no se wo mtwen na the following day so uko airport wa edika kan ho asem anajo na services ni bi apon anu mampani adwin hu se SSC an overhaul of the framework within the period the ejuma say okay saying ahomacha anajo obi akoda no enam so obi antie commercial anti na ye de akọ enwummo ananse de akọ preaching senka Ghana fo anajo na ye 24 hour na obi anna taxi fo ye ejuma truck fo ye ejuma because oko market night markets omo ton niema ntino amanfo betie OKFM you won't do music again you will go commercial edisika betu ni tobotum enipa benye adwuma oman no na ye titire ntinura omampanyi ebue hu eda na di abayese abofra ya wo no afi ni ebese na diapers ni ahema na fencing na wiase edi hu mfaso but I think that the 24-hour economy is a good thing for this country say ye baby bim and now you report on my pilot 24-hour senka enka no omu ye juma all right but the boss 6 adanse anajo na custom system ye close porta yinia ohona Japan na fi aka protectional services nkwa na sisi anso de container na bedu port anopai went me in anopai anajo custom officials betra ho aye ejuma banks be ejuma na omotime you container amount. It is demand driven and a chain, so one thing leads to the other, and it is a port. A 24-hour economy near traffic ever form, demurrage ever form, and customers betting me a supply near mama womo and call for within the specific agreed time frame. Yes, no, and then you call what? One increase the lighting. For light now as a stadium. They have increased police visibility and protection. Also, what it means is that a lot of custom officials will be moved into that arena. A lot of security personnel will be moved into that arena. A lot of other government officials will be moved into that arena. And also says that people will now be employed to be able to give those services. So the chain gives employment, the chain leads to good public service, the chain also reduces traffic. The same as I've talked about hospitals. But the can say the which is a mokola thing and answer night markets are ever say obi fi enti aba beto niama and now say visibility honor light in ho what do you to bank and ajo bedra where you where they ato niama anopa na we si mo kono kwame nso na okọ ejuma traffic be reduce am obi ahụ atọ no matise Ghana fu bi say oh moba na mo man physical into 24-hour economy ho adenti na afedie e diska bi ato ho. So what is our question, sir? Hello? Come for every government policy intervention, there will be some commitment of expenditures to it. There will be some commitment of expenditures to it. Kasa a police for to increase visibility and patrol. Expenditure outside the usual police budget because it adds up to what the police would have to do. Many emergency at the time, questions frequently asked about 24-hour economy. You know, if you look at that document, Ubehu said there will be some incentives, government incentives, companies who sign on to 24-hour economy would have to enjoy. Say, tax responsibility to be the omuye fee one. It's a sacrifice on the public purse outside what you are doing. There will be some sort of interventions if you are recruiting people to augment the demand-driven policy. In the process of even the recruitment, you give them the tools and logistics. It has to come with a budget. Matise Bimoso can say, Anna, Dumso Iwohi, Adentina, Infant Womenya license in the age. And when NPP people ask these questions, I get surprises. Does that mean that factories have stopped working? Because we have had a challenge of power. And the government should not seek to develop or overhaul the policy that we have to intervene in a way that the country would have to work day and night other than just day. I just think that in the night cell, no, gradually, 24-hour economy, yes, sir, yes, starting with a day. It is not possible. One chain will lead to the other. And I believe that in 6 months, Ghanaians will begin to see visibly. A Jubanwa polish na number kasa amana ho. Say the do baby na OKFM more than 4 years one shift. Say do baby a team for door one. Some of them will move in tonight. And filling stations so. Because lots of ejuma, taxi driver ejuma, bankers ejuma, radio stations ejuma, they will definitely buy fuel. So filling stations will work in the night. The filling station attendants will be increased from 1 to 2. The security personnel there will be increased from 1 to 2. The owner of the filling station will make money in the night and make money day. It develops a nation rapidly. So I am grateful that day in, day out within 6 to 7 months. Ya start here and Niema Ghana for Ako Apamina Omampenny and Penny for Wamatsa or Adrian who Adrian Woman ye. Yadu to Fomua, send you bit me a Boama Ghana. Ghana, that's it, anything. At the end of the day, Ghana ye in Hobatoyen, and I think that we are on the right path.
Na Uncle Moose, my radio we yet budgets say be a bank way earmarked for 24-hour economy. Hello. Me say aban ebo sika bi say sika we na aban twa to ho for 24-hour economy no.
I think, sir, in rural lands, all these matters were truly discussed. And I do know, sir, in the course of time, many Mpenifua, our secretariat through government communication and Ministry of Trade and Industry. Now, apart from the lunch, explanations be what policy no. You have Babuano. Na omotimi ayi ano de amagana for na yina will be on the same page as we continue to work to implement the policy. So we will start make a 24-hour economy. Na generator mi use abana rema me fuel na something na no asemo aban mu mpanyifo bebe yi ano na Ghana fo timi ato wo mase. Na yetimi ako enye obia na behia budget we kaya tamo a started sadi we magazine enko 40 na msi boy sadi we krade aboayen ye krade ye ntwan aban se adwin powi na da aban timu a ye krade ye hyaase enti wo ko magazine na mechanics wo ho a enkade no na ebofo a who cars in doing car or coffee ada. And now you can watch it lighter. Then call out in the age ma about 5 new set ever barber twasso into a car after you out the aqua shop on. I never know what is if you are walking forward there, okay, baby. So all these things will be explained out of the policy perspective, sir. Ghana for better on one year in due course. Ye lanchen and raya and tea sansi and beba na omude no edia ba ama atif one so estimate wo mo hasem.
Now mami we de me say president ka say focus no towards the private sector. Na enu nchemu kakra won say.
Well, sir, omanpenyi the winning that that's on there. So she said the year in 2016. One of the legacies are you cannot, clean or erase his name from infrastructure foundation and industrial interventions and growth. And so only the Adadiano That's is looking at how to improve on our manufacturing, our industrial hubs. At the Asania Bayana Ghana 14 producing Yamana companies amanone etimi abesete up within the country. When we produce amayanya humfaso. Oko China is here. Even American factories are located in China because of one, cost of raw materials, two, production cost. The end effect is that and Myanmar when we produce will be cheaper and serviceable to the market. And then so there's a package for the private sector or all of these interventions will be well articulated in the public engagements secretariat in the Ministry of Trade through the government communication machinery. At the Babet Twabon thing to answer and to give a clear, concise, specific roadmap, in other faso. Opeso enroller. To that idea, we move here one district, one factory. No? The fact that the policy is launched does not necessarily mean it will be a here. In the private sector, Opeso enroll a Kwame or Befaso. All these things will come up as additional engagements that the secretariat will do for deeper understanding and stakeholder, roll up to the program. And in due course, we now about one thing I'm a Ghana for, but I do believe that really yes, the private sector would be a bigger and a major, concentration as far as the 24-hour economy is.
Na obi bisa se wo ba abrochira man hodo so metimi abo man hodo be 20 enye baby nyina ena 24-hour economy no eye adwuma me fan say okay memra baby to say e be a UK shop bi ana malls bi to say Asda wonye 24-hour ubo baby to say shops bi to say Halifax wo munye 24-hour memra Australia baby shops bi to say Myers baby uba US a Target Walmart wo mu nyina anye 24-hour eti we no a sectorial ana eden.
We have always said, sir, 24-hour economy is demand driven and a chain impacting policy. One, it overhauls our time frame of work. Two, it's targeted at increasing productivity and supply chain. Targeted at reducing traffic and demand. And for example, a 24-hour economy will work at the airport sections, Kokoduka International Airport.
I
mean, no, it's a Udu Airport, baby. Banks, any manager.
Oh, say ATM.
Oh, say
ATM.
You and your ATM in Tino, then you say, sir, you won't operate other services. There are a lot of services that close, even before 9 o'clock.
Sure.
When you put the incentives together, now everybody can conveniently participate in the service provision. I also want to believe that it is not the same story if you go to say Wa Airport, where the demand is not there. The fact that the demand will not be at Wa Airport doesn't mean that the demand for customer service or service to the public is not at Kotoka International Airport. And policies usually are not targeted at what not to do. It's targeted at what to do to improve a certain condition of service or situation. And to the fact that Ebia Anajo, for health reasons, we don't operate chobbers in the night because people are sleeping. It doesn't mean that people don't work in the night. The target is to make sure that government creates an enabling environment for people to be able to function and to work on a shift basis because of demand, and also to be able to serve the public to reduce a particular challenge which is to increase production. So if you have a pure water factory, for example, and the demand in the area, they be able to produce an assign. If their incentives are workers the factory owner is motivated by government to operate that factory based on some incentives available. Now, a farmer company, the factory owner will then employ more people. What it means is that instead of producing 10 bags of water a day, then you close, you end up producing 20 or 25. And then there will be consistent supply of that water to the public. So nobody will go to other places looking for water because they know that this factory has produced enough to be able to service the market. That is what it is about. And there's no ambiguity in these areas of understanding. And clearly, the fact that there will not be high demand in certain areas, it's not enough to believe that we don't need a policy like 24-hour economy. We need it most, even in government services. And we have consistently talked about even hospital services. We have talked about the port. We have talked about the airports. We have talked about market and all of it. It's a chain. So when it begins to roll up, one thing will open up for another thing to happen. And so once those things begin to happen, you see that people will begin to get their feet. If 24-hour economy doesn't start, the taxi driver, the truck driver may not be working in the night in a certain area. So if you have consistent 24-hour economy in Sikwalebu and a rich hospital, where the hospital is open to what it does at day, doing same at night, the number of people who will move in that area will be very high. So because the hospital is doing 24-hour economy, taxi drivers will work, truck drivers will work. Through the increase in the service provision chain, other people will come up. People will come and sell things in the traffic. People will come and do this. And then it goes and goes and goes and goes. So once they rule out the policy and it builds up, you will begin to see the dividends and the gains that the nation will make out of the policy. But I think that one of the most wonderful policies in the century for our economy is Ejuma Beba. Ebema Ejuma, and it also increased the quality of service provision both within the private sector and in the public sector.
Na metwase ye kra ye hai kra no ye betimi aye night show to say ye ya ko bi o wa say wo ye adwuma wo ni time de tie nti enumere no anasa na dwono ade a che bia betimi atoaso ye monnwom say ye wo kan
so on the mama bia ma kwa so say wo wie anapa we o ko fiu e bia no akwa ko
e na Thursday obekọ neat awia
enti we no na say you do baby you don't have a choice because the number of people, the listenership of OKFM between the hour of 6 o'clock to 4 a.m. in the night, and for 4 years Juma they will entertain themselves. After 4 years Juma they want to listen to radio. That's before they want. You will be compelled to ensure, sir, in the night, OK radio station is not playing music. You are doing adverts for people to hear. You are doing commercial for people to listen. And when this is going on, you would be able to increase the security man at the premises from just day, thinking that in the night the traffic is low. So you augment the same level of security, you increase more security guards. You have to employ more journalists. And through that, every other essential, staff of OKFM that works at day, the same batch would have to work at night. So if 10 journalists didn't have a job, because there is service to be provided.
Yeah. Okay.